Say it again.
They have pumpkin spice at Starbucks now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. So, if you're having a good day today, hopefully you are, then good, great, grand. So, if the footage looks slightly different, it's because I'm filming in a higher frame rate, because I noticed when I was filming one of my last videos, I had a couple clips that were filmed at a higher frame rate. I kind of was curious as to how it would look to film the whole video like that. I don't know. Most of you guys won't even notice. But if the video looks like it's flowing more smoothly or faster, it's because the higher frame rate. So normally I film in like 30 frames, 29 frames a second. Right now I am filming in twice that, so 60 frames. And I don't know, it's weird. But anyways, we are just about to head down to the shop. We got some cool work today, kind of. So I have a EG bumper bar to build, which won't take very long at all. Probably won't film any of that. I do have a Del Sol roof brace over there on the porch that I got to ship out, but I'm trying to... I gotta email the guy, ask him to wait a couple days, because I do have one of the guys, there's the guy that bought my Del Sol, he has another Del Sol, but anyways, he's local to me. I asked him if there's any way he could bring his Del Sol down this week, so that way I could test fit the roof brace, because I wanted to make a little video on how to install them, just a quick instructional, so I get a lot of questions when people buy those. And then I also wanted to just make sure that my jig is still straight and good, because I had one of the bolts break off of it the other day, so I kind of had to wing it, and I just want to make sure everything's, you know, lined up correctly. But other than that, we'll get some coffee, because it's it's coffee time, and we'll get down to the shop.
Welcome to Starbucks. What food items can we get started for you?
Nothing to eat, just a grande vanilla sweet cream cold brew.
Grande vanilla sweet cream cold brew. What else for you?
That'll be it.
514.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
It's kind of funny because my car is pretty recognizable. I go to the same Starbucks basically every day that I come to the shop. It's just like, I know it's a big waste of money buying coffee all the time. Obviously I have the reward stuff, so I get free coffees every, 7 drinks you buy or something, but that's not the point. So I know it's a waste of money, but it's like the little bit of like a reward / time to myself for the day where I'm just away from everything. I don't have to worry about anything, just I can just get some coffee. I can take that few minutes to just, you know, get out of the world for whatever. Anyway, that's not the point. So my car is recognizable, and the lady at the window recognized. She was kind of looking at me a little weird, and then she was like, "Oh, I recognize you or whatever. I remember the big spoiler," and I was like, "Yeah. I usually got the puppy with me." She's like, "Oh, that's right, blah blah blah." It's funny because every single employee in that store now knows my puppy. And they all love him because the dude's getting chubby. He's got so many pup cups from there. It's insane. But anyway, behind me here, we have a 2014, I think, TSX. I forget exactly the model year, but this thing is pretty sweet. So it's not just any TSX. This thing actually happens to be boosted. I personally, I mean, I don't get out much, but I personally haven't seen a turbo TSX before, let alone one like this. So let me straighten this thing up on the lift because, yeah, it's not centered. But let me straighten this thing up and I will show you under the hood. So I know the lighting could be a little bit better so you could see some more detail, but this is actually what we're working with. So it looks like a sidewinder. I mean, technically, I guess it is sidewinder because it sits the turbo on the side of the cylinder head, you know. But if you look, this is the later model K-Series where it's got the single exit exhaust port thingy. So basically, this whole setup is completely DIY, and I respect the hell out of it, because the guy, even though it's not the most quote-unquote legit way to do things, he made it work, and it works well for him. He's not going for like max power, but it works enough to have some good fun with. He's even got AC in here. I mean, you can't go wrong with turbo and AC. But yeah, so basically what he did, from what I understand now, is he took the stock manifold, he cut the flange, flipped the main portion upside down, so the O2 sensor, whereas normally it's on top, the O2 sensor is now on bottom, and from that he took some 2.5-inch stainless pipe and made it come along over here, and then V-banded it, and then the little V-band section is the section that then goes to the turbo flange, and the turbo mounts on that. But he was actually smart with it, because he didn't use schedule pipe, which you would normally use, which, like I've explained to you guys before, is like this stuff, this very, very thick stuff. So he didn't use something like this, which you can get in 2.5-inch, which is very expensive. But yeah, so he didn't use schedule pipe. He used normal pipe, which he knew, or him and his buddy knew, was probably not going to be the strongest. So what they did is, you can't see it because it's dark in here, but there's bracing. So he braced the turbo flange to the cylinder head, and then he braced it somewhere else over here, I want to say. I don't think he did it to the body, but he basically braced it in 2 spots. So it's held up for him for quite a bit, it sounds like. He's got, you know, the exhaust running back here. That's where that back tube is right there. And then he's also got a dump tube running basically down there. And it's even all connected or whatever, so it's like pretty legit. Obviously, he's got his oil feed stuff all set up nicely. He's still got everything else going on up front here. Yeah, this is just like a super awesome setup. And you guys know I'm all about making things work, doing DIY budget stuff, because even though I'm technically a professional, because I make money doing this stuff, I do not compare myself to the likes of most of the guys in the industry. Like, I still feel like I'm just a kid just barely getting his feet wet in this stuff. So it's really cool to see stuff like this where it's like, yo dude, I got some extra cash, let's throw the turbo on this thing over the weekend. Alright bro. So yeah, anyways, the guy that owns the car actually watches my video, so I'm super stoked that you guys continue to support me. I mean, I just posted an Instagram story about it last night, because this is my calendar for the month. And this thing, you can see, was pretty much almost entirely booked up. And it's just like week after week. At the end of the week, I'm like, I don't have next week scheduled for anything. And then, you know, the Lord blesses me, and next week's filled up. So this week is kind of the same. Last week was a little bit slower, but I had a big job over the weekend to make up for it. I built a downpipe for a Mercedes GLA 4MATIC. So that was a good chunk of change for me. And the kids stoked on it. And that made up for the slower week. And then I got a roof brace order, I got a bumper bar order, and yeah, that kind of made up for it. And now starting the week off, this one's not crazy, so I haven't even gone into detail what we're doing. Basically, the guy just has some exhaust leaks. He doesn't have time to do it from what I understand, so you know, if we got some extra clamps, if any of them break off, and then we're just changing the turbo gasket and the exhaust manifold gasket. Nothing crazy, but it is a lot of labor to get in there, as you can clearly see. And I just figured I'd vlog today. I don't have much going on other than this. I gotta get some tires put on the S, because mine are so bald, it's terrifying. Like, I really shouldn't even be driving it right now. But yeah, thanks for listening to me blabber on, and let's get on with the video. Well, I guess let's jump into this. So first order of business is trying to figure out how to take all this apart. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Very quickly why this guy didn't want to do it himself, so I'm kind of fighting for my life at the moment. Since I didn't build this setup, I don't know exactly how it went together, so I'm having a tricky time figuring out the most efficient way to take it apart. So I just got the manifold bolts down, or undone, and I just went to pry it or just move it, and I realized it does not wiggle in the slightest because it is attached by a V-band right here to the turbo. So now I got to take this V-band off. Hopefully that gives me enough wiggle room. I'm not sure though, because then the wastegate is right before this V-band, but the wastegate ties in with the exhaust in the sense that he welded a bracket across the 2 pipes down below. Now, he did give me permission to cut that bracket, so I may have to do that to just get enough wiggle room to scoot this manifold off of the head flange thing. If not, then I have to take the turbo out and everything else up top, and honestly, part of it just, I hate it because of all the heat wrap stuff. Like, I'm already itchy just from sitting in here because I'm leaning on it. My arms are all red. So yeah, word of the wise, if you anybody that does turbo stuff, I know the heat wrap may work, but trust me, you will save you and everybody else the pain and heartache of dealing with it later if you just do Cerakote instead. So yeah, I'm gonna try and tinker with this. My battery's kind of dying already because I've had the camera on time lapse for a while now. So I'm gonna keep picking away at this and kind of hopefully figure something out. Alright, got the manifold flange out. Pretty obvious where the exhaust leak was coming from. I was able to break the V-band free, which was a huge pain in the butt because the V-bands, I love them, but I also kind of hate them because at times they stick like they, dude, I got so much fiberglass in my, I'm telling you guys, don't use heat wrap. The camera's not even picking up, but my skin is all bumped up and red right here on both arms because I'm leaning in all of it in the engine bay. But yeah, so I was able to break that V-band free and get just enough wiggle room using the pry bar on the head flange, manifold downpipe flange thing to wiggle this out, so hopefully I can wiggle the new one in. And then the turbo one should be a little bit easier. It's going to be a pain in the ass because the bolts, but should be a little bit easier. Just ran into a bit of a problem, so I got the one gasket change. I just started taking the turbo flange gasket apart or whatever, broke one bolt loose, went to move on to the next, and that second one, it broke away instantly, but then like 2 threads in, it started getting extremely tight, and now it feels like it's gonna break, and I do not feel comfortable taking that apart. So I texted dude, I'm just waiting on his response, because if that bolt breaks, that's on the turbo flange, which means this whole section, all of this would have to come out, and that would have to be retapped, and like that's a crap ton of work, especially if he's going to be changing this out. Like I almost say, for the short term, just throw a whole bunch of orange RTV high temp stuff in there and just kind of jerry rig it that way. But I don't know, we'll see. Wait for him to text me back and see what he wants to do. Alright, so this is the stuff that I'm going to be using. Just this focus. There we go. So the light glare. Some red high temp RTV silicone. So I've used this stuff before. This is really similar like the Permatex basically. And yeah, I'm going to just dabble a little bit up, fill that crack, try and push some of it in there. It's easy to clean up if it even works because then you just peel it off and we should be good. Alright, so I think this is all put back together now. I don't see anything out of place, so we should be good. I got the gasket maker. You can't even see, it's all dark down there, but yeah, no, you can't even see it. But the gasket maker's on there. The guy's not off work for about another 2 hours, so should be plenty of time to give that stuff time to cure. But otherwise, yeah, everything's good. But for real though, from now on, I'm definitely adding a surcharge for working on cars that have heat wrap when I'm touching all the heat wrap stuff. Because even with gloves and everything, like my arms are so swollen and red now with fiberglass. I just had to do like the soap and shaving, or soap and a credit card trick to like try and scrape it out of my freaking pores of my skin. So yeah, I'm not even kidding about that. This shit sucks, but we're good. Now I'm just kind of waiting on the S2000 because it's getting some tires and an alignment right now. So yeah, gonna wait on that. In the meantime, this thing's wrapped up. That's it. I don't know what else. Stay tuned for something else, hopefully. Sounds like a misfire.
Yeah.
We're into the next day now. I finished up that car yesterday, got picked up. It was running a bit rough when it left. The guy said he's been having trouble with injectors, and of course it'd be my luck that it's right after I touch it and he goes to pull out and I'm filming it that it starts acting up. But got my new tires put on. So for those of you wondering, these are the Zestino Greg 07 RSs. They are like some Japanese branded drift tire marketed. 100 tread wears. So 100 tread wears was not my first choice because obviously that's very sticky, which is nice. I love sticky tires. I run 200s normally, but I only got 15,000 miles out of my 200s, which sounds like maybe a lot, and I guess it was a lot for daily driving the car in the Arizona summer, which means obviously heat cycling the tires more. I did a track day, California trip, a bunch of canyon sessions. So I'm not too mad, but I know these tires aren't going to last that long, so I'm kind of nervous. But so far, so good. Got the car aligned, but when my buddy was aligning it, I don't know, it just didn't center the wheel totally correct. So he, mistakes happen. I'm not mad about it. He's taking care of me. So I'm going to run down there and get this thing corrected, so that way the wheel is centered, because it drives me insane. And then we got to go make that EG bumper bar today. So I said I wasn't going to film it, and I probably still won't, but we'll film something else for the vlog today. And then we'll figure it out. Yeah, we figure it out as we go. That's what we do best here, right? So let's get down to Discount Tire and get this thing straightened out. Say that again.
They have pumpkin spice at Starbucks now.
No, today is August 30th, and Efren says he's seen an ad for pumpkin spice back at Starbucks, so I'm gonna go right now. And if they ain't got it,
It's not my fault. I just saw the ad. I saw the ad.
yeah, he gonna sit on that chair, but not in the way that you think.
I guess I'll put my bumper on.
Can I just do a grande pumpkin cream cold brew?
You said a grande pumpkin cream cold brew?
Yes, please.
You got it. What else for you?
Anything for you?
I'm good.
That'll be it. Thank you. No, I don't need one. Thank you. You too.
You can use this cup holder?
I'll leave you the leg room. You just missed out. See, you could have had yourself an Asian cutie, but no, you just planned. We can turn around. We can go back in.
No, tomorrow I'm gonna come around the same time. I'm gonna bring Finn.
She did kind of have hairy arms, though.
Oh God.
It's always funny, like I pull into the drive right there and I don't... Alright guys, I think I'm finally going to wrap this video up here. I just opened up my laptop and I'm about to get to editing And I just actually got a text from the TSX guy. It turns out it was his fuel injectors. He just went and got them serviced. He pulled them out really quick and serviced them, and one of them was clogged. So good to know that it wasn't me. So anyways, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you've considered subscribing by now. If you want to help support the channel, which I hope you do, it would mean the world to me. I do have Amazon affiliate links where you can buy things that is like in the video description, like some of the tools I use, like some of my favorite pieces of equipment and such. Yeah, that's the best way to do that. And then also I have my big cartel where you can find my some of my merch and my metal products. At least in the short term, I do plan on doing an SDFab website in the future. But for now, that's where you can find this stuff. So anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with me here on this day and taking some time out of your day to spend it with me on this video. Anyways, guys, do what you love. Forget about the rest. Keep chasing things day by day. I mean, we can only take it a day at a time. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.